The man behind the wheel here is stone cold sober, and he's a highly skilled driver. Along with 8 others, most of them ordinary drivers like you and me, he's agreed to take part in a controlled drinking and driving experiment on a course designed and laid out by engineers of the traffic section of Dublin County Council. It's on a closed car park under the watchful eye of the Department of Forensic Medicine at University College Dublin. The course itself is simple enough. It demands no special abilities, just the care and attention you'd normally exercise on the roads. And it incorporates the usual driving manoeuvres, reversing, parking, tight turns and so on, in a more concentrated form than you'd meet on the roads. For someone like this, it presents no problem, and he's enjoying himself showing us just how it's done. Another driver here, she's a little more cautious, less confident maybe, but the layout presents no problems to her either. And of course, for some of our drivers with a background in motorsport, a chance to show off just a little bit.
But I haven't yet received a summons. I'm either going to be in heavy or I'm going to get out of it, right?
Having spent the morning familiarising themselves with the course, we invited the drivers to the pub and settled in for a couple of hours drinking. Only the fact that it was midday and that a careful record of what and how much of it each driver was drinking made this any different from a normal pub scene. And as often happens in a pub, the conversation turned to the business in hand, drinking.
The problem with drinking is that when you are stone sober and somebody asks you, are you going to, how many drinks do you need to be able to drive safely? Right. And they say, oh, well, I can drive quite happily after, say, 4. Then they have 3. Yeah. Ask them the same question. Then they say,
I'll have another
well,
one.
maybe I can drive quite well on 6. Ask them when they've had their 5th. They say, well, after 10, no problem, I can manage. Ask them when they've had their 10th, and if they can still talk, they'll say,
I'll go.
right.
The drinking is over, and the UCD scientists are measuring the alcohol levels in the blood using a new device called the alcohol meter, which may someday replace the breathalyzer. Simultaneous blood samples were taken as a cross-reference, and the 2 results agreed remarkably well. This driver had 3.5 whiskies. Her level was 87, very much below the allowed limit. She's making mistakes. $169, he's over the limit. If he was on the open road now, he could lose his license for a year. He seems to be doing fairly well, but he's crashed a stop sign, and now he's taken a wrong turning. $216, he's had a skinful, 4 pints of stout and 7 whiskies. He did really well when he was sober. He's a top-class driver. But then, now there's an awful lot of alcohol in his blood. 4 pints of stout and 7 whiskies. Actually, he's completely lost. He doesn't know where he is. All he sees in front of him is a maze of plastic cones. I think he's had enough. $241. This driver has almost twice the allowed amount of alcohol in his blood. He's at the stage where he doesn't realize just how drunk he is. When he finished the course, he was under the impression that he'd done really well. plastic cone could have been a dog or even a child.